Okay guys, it's this debate. We know we can't cover this if we had 10 sessions, if we had 2 weeks, if we had, look how much women, you know, got look how much problems there are in the Bible where men have fell and it's because of a woman. Now I'm not trying to stigmatize a woman to say women's all bad like some people do, but it just shows you that we people that think about, whoa, these guys are big in God, you know, men of God, and slipped up. Some of the biggest. You know. So let's just talk about that in terms of realities for us. And when Roger was saying how there's an element of being filled with the Spirit, I'm just talking from a Christian perspective. For those who are struggling are Christian, I want you to expand on that if you could, Travis, because I know you were saying something to me before. I think could help us in terms of how you deal with that, where you're coming from.
Well, like, you know, the scripture I always go back to is Galatians 5:16, which talks about walking in the Spirit, you know, and how that will help you to not satisfy the lust of the flesh. And basically, on a practical level, it's what I said in the last part about, you know, what you feed is what will grow. You know, for me, walking in the Spirit is, you know, spending time with God. You know, your prayer life, your worship, especially worship. Worship's all about intimacy, but it's intimacy in the correct context. So the more you get accustomed to that, the less you want it in the wrong context, and the more you get close to God, spend time in the Word, you know, and just basic. Even just basic scriptures. I'm not talking about the convoluted, you know, different strands of theology, whatever. Just, you know, basic scriptures that you can read over and fill your attention with.
Yeah.
So, like, not saying that the enemy won't come or the temptation won't come, whatever the case may be, but when it comes, you will respond in the correct manner. We all know from Matthew 3 and Matthew 4, when Jesus got tempted in the wilderness, his response was, you know, it is written. He could only do that because he knew what was written.
Yeah. And so he was ready, he was prepared.
He was ready and prepared for it.
Yeah. I hear that. I think it's a very true thing that, well, if you guys would agree with me, but it's a case of, it's not enough just to stop. If you could say that, you know, if whoever's watching and we're thinking about it, say you're a young Christian boy now, you're watching porn, is it enough just to say to him, stop watching it, but we don't give him anything else?
No, you have to give him an alternative. You know, it's like, stop listening to such music. Okay, well, here's what you should listen to, because you're going to want to listen to music, so you're going to want to fill that gap in your life, or in just the cycle of life, and in terms of that desire for intimacy. You're going to want to fill it, and, you know, the scripture that comes to mind is where it does talk about, you know, awake to righteousness and sin no more. So it's giving you the do, you know, or even like, submit yourself to God, resist the devil and he shall flee.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you what to do in order to facilitate the don't. You know, and that's what the new covenant is all about, you know, with Jesus Christ. He came to give us the do's that will help empower us to be able to say, right, I'm not that way anymore. You know.
I think as well, just to quickly, I'm coming from a married man perspective now. Okay. It turns out that's something we have to keep pursuing and feeding ourselves and loving, really, even when you're married. Because I think some people think, you want to find the one, you'll be okay. I can let that kind of that desire out and that passion, and it's me and them, and I never look at somebody else. And it doesn't really work like that. I know from personal experience. If you're healthy, if you're sexually active, and you have a healthy sexual appetite, you will notice when other people are like, yeah, they're nice, or when they're trying to look at you. You know, you're just trying to do your thing, and you got somebody else like, yeah, what's your name? What's going on? But you know, they're coming from a different angle. You know, you got ring on your finger. Some people like the fact you got ring on your finger. So. It's like more of a challenge, you know what I mean? It's more of a challenge. It's like, I can't go there, love, you know, can't do that. But I only say that to highlight the fact that even when you are married, the fight, it doesn't end. We still got to feed ourselves, still got to keep putting stuff in that makes us prepared, because it will come, the temptation will come, it's a given.
I think that a major problem that we have is how we've been indoctrinated from what we spend time in. And let's be real, you know, one of the biggest things that we do is watch TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And TV does not soap operas. And I'm not going to say EastEnders, but that's a classic. But you got different American programs that influence us in how we have our relationships. Movies, you know what I'm saying? They actually influence what relationships is all about. where we're married or not married or whatever position we are. So the problem is, like you says, you refer to porn, which is an extreme element of indoctrination. But people say there's soft porn as well. You know, in music videos these days. You know, gone are the days of Michael Jackson style videos. Like, Thriller, and it's just dancing and all this business.
Madonna Vogue had all the clothes on.
You're saying, you know, so. Them days have changed. I'm not saying that them videos were perfect, but what I'm saying is like nowadays videos you can't even show in front of 5-6-year-old children. There are straight up porn videos, and I think that, you know, you feed that element all the time. So when men try to diet, trying to get our flesh to die, the problem is that we feed it and we entertain fleshly desires by not saying I'm on road going through town and we're not moving my neck, but when we're in the house and something sexually active comes on TV, do we switch it over, or do we just, you know what I mean, just have a good look, like no one's looking and it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock, you know, what do we feed?
What are you doing behind closed doors, isn't it?
So it's being real with young people and saying, hold on a second, do you know why you can't exactly let go of this issue, why you struggle? It's because at night you feed yourself with these certain style of programs which lie to yourself.
You want to say something? I was going to say something as well.
Explicitly for the young people.
You
know, obviously we've all got our fancy phones. The world is so much greater interaction in that sense. So we must be mindful of the fact the attack, you know, the temptation is full. You know, it's not just coming. It is
not just TV. It's everywhere.
It's also so and so's BB display picture. It's so and so's Twitter avatar. So and so's Facebook status. You know, Home Alone. Who's going to join me? Them kind of things. You know. So you have to be mindful of that. So if you need to,
you touch on there because like even when we're sharing going to talk about profile pics, but like girls don't help themselves in these profile pics. You know, sorry girls. I'm coming from a man's perspective here. You know, the poses where they don't pose like this. They're posing downwards. Why they're posing downwards in the picture? It's like, what is showing? You know what I'm saying? And I know they're doing some pose where they stick out their lips in every pose, like pout. The pout, like what? Man of them kissing the screen, like it's kissing you on the screen because you I'm like, this isn't helping nobody. You know, man are fantasizing straight away with your lips sticking out. But you say it to young Christian girls, they're like, shut up, don't mean nothing. But you're like, you're messing up the brothers. You know,
and if their head is filled with that, when it does come to a position where, you know, because we're not going to always make perfect choices. You know, so say you do end up in such and such party, and you know, you find yourself open in a wrong place at the wrong time, then you do find you act a certain way, not because you really wanted to, but because indoctrination, you've been programmed to act a certain way. You know, and that's the whole thing that has messed a lot of people up. And it's not to condemn anyone, because, you know, it's never saying that there's never no mercy or forgiveness, but it's just be mindful of it. You know, let's be smart about it.
It's funny talking about your videos now, because I remember the change, MTV or whatever, and I remember the change when seeing the video. Seeing the video. One of the first ones I looked at for. Wait a minute, what's going on here? It was a Nerds video. One of their videos. I'm like, what? And then Snoop Dogg came out with other stuff afterwards, and all this just started getting fashionable. I remember just watching it thinking, whoa, this is not music. This is really not music. This is orgy on screen. This is what's going on. And thinking to myself, it's raw, not full blown porn, but like soft porn now, accepted. You know, you don't see all the bits, but you might as well, because that's the way they're going on. And you look at some of it. To me, I had this name for it. I used to just call MTV and some of the videos was beautiful mess. Because even though we know it's messy and it's dangerous and you don't want to be in them positions, they make it look nice, they glamorize it, they kind of make it look like this is where you want to be, this is what you want to do. If you don't mind, you want to be bored, you want to have enough girls around here, you know, the Jay-Z videos and all the Biggie videos back in the day. And some of these things you look at, and even back when we was younger, I think about 2 Live Crew and all them people, it was explicit on a different level, but they never got to the mainstream. But now all that kind of stuff's getting to the mainstream, and ages, you know, kids of all ages are getting to see.
I think that goes back to the original temptation in the Garden of Eden, because the Bible just talking about Eve looked to the fruit and it looked desirable. Do you know what I mean? She did actually.
They're gonna make it look good, haven't they?
You know, the way the enemy spoke about it, he dressed it up in a way with enough in there to entice, and then you fall for the trap, whatever the case may be. And he's been doing the same thing. That's why it's also important to make mention of the fact that this is nothing
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Yeah, it's nothing new. You can't make it a generation. This is going on from day that. Yeah.
So your parents do know what's best. You know, they do know. They have been there before. They have experienced this, or you know, whatever case. It might be in different forms, but the temptation, the desire, the raging hormones, every single person. I would even go as far as say even Christ himself, who was tempted in all accounts as a man, he had to go through the same thing. And he didn't sin. And
this is where, I know we're out of time, this is when it talks about daily bread, have a fresh bread every day. You know, I was reading, it's like, because the moment we just say, I'll get daily bread, and then we get high after we say, I'll back off 20 gallons today, like, I'm the man. And we just stay with that stale bread, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I was reading something today, I can't remember exactly what it was, and it was talking about the manna, they only had enough for each day.
It went off into the
exactly. So, but with ourselves, we want to get high on Sunday, and think we don't need to, you know what I mean, get through. Then by Friday, we're in the club, dancing out, at night, wrong places and all this because we haven't got our daily bread. It's about really this is more to do with us getting deeper in a relationship with Christ than the fight in the flesh, because that will automatically take over. But I know we ran out of time, so go on.
Which is being in the right place in the right time, which is where I want to go to anyway. So
okay, cool.
We'll do that in a minute. I think we've gone through quite a bit there. But there is an issue about where are you spending your time, what are you doing with it, what are you investing in it. So I want us to unpack that definitely. Cool. We'll move to that very soon. But